Hello there, Cesar. My name's Andrew. I work with Ben here at IELTSpodcast.com. I'll be the one correcting your essays today. And don't worry about the fact that you've gotten them in late. It's better to get them done than never at all. What I'll be doing today is reading through your work, providing you with some basic corrections. What we want to try to achieve first is not only proper structure using the acronym provided in the course, but also then how to use that to express your ideas well, clearly, accurately, with style, because these are all the markers of level 8 or over a level 7 anyway. And when you go to sit your exam, we really want you scoring a level 8 in practice, so that in reality, when you're in exam conditions and you're nervous and there's pressure, that you could still stand a really good chance of getting a good score. So, what's important? That we don't repeat ourselves. So here, we've used the word human twice in the same sentence when there are many other ways to refer to humans. People, persons, individuals, anything is good as long as we avoid repetition. Also, we want to avoid ambiguous terms. The enemy of precision is ambiguity, so things like ones. Just be more specific. Numerous activities alongside traditional measures or traditional pursuits or anything really, just a more specific word than ones. Anytime you find yourself writing things, ones, stuff, we must write something more specific. Other than that, your intro is good. So avoid repetition and avoid ambiguity. So firstly, permitting a child to play with electronic games consoles brings additional benefits to their physical and cognitive development. Beautiful sentence. Evidence suggests that such a method of entertainment can improve children's abilities. Let's try to improve that so that would not reach their full potential by reading alone. It's kind of obscure. It's not clear whether their full potential is the children's or the abilities. The children or the abilities. So evidence suggests that such methods of entertainment can better or improve children's abilities much more effectively than reading alone. Much more effectively than reading alone. A 2010 study by Cambridge University showed that schoolgoers who engaged in 8 hours a week of playing video games demonstrated higher levels of concentration and better motor skills, or faster motor skills, let's be specific, than their counterparts who only read, who during the same period only read is just too short a phrase, I think. It doesn't carry well. So only read books, or only consumed the written word, or anything like that. Let's just bring that out slightly more. I have to say though, your grammar is quite good. I'm not having to correct many prepositions or pronouns. That's always a relief. That's usually the most difficult area. Therefore, bestowing youngsters with the opportunity, let's not forget that preposition just after I've said it, bestowing youngsters with the opportunity to play. So let's vary up the word play. What else could we use? We could say to engage with, to utilize. There are a couple of ways that we could vary that on up. But yeah, variety is always good. But your structure's good, your grammar's good. Let's get some precision in there and avoid repetition. I think precision and variety are probably the things that I would advise you on most in these. Let's see if we can take that forward some more. Secondly, activities involving sports or outdoor adventures, where fun is the key factor, can improve important attributes of a child's development. I feel like we're saying child's development a lot at the moment. Let's delve into the development of children. What is important in a child's development? The acquisition of new skills and knowledge, the refinement of abilities. So let's get really into that niche. In the development of children, what is important? Performing tasks requiring some dexterity. This is an extra. Performing tasks that require dexterity is good enough. We're referring to tasks that require dexterity. We don't need to know in which environments, because any task that requires dexterity is relevant here. So performing tasks that require dexterity enhances social and physical skills. An article recently published by The Economist reveals that adults who participated in sporting events during their school and or university years, let's just say their formative years. Formative. It implies that it's during years in which their personality is being shaped. So any time during education, particularly in youth, are formative years. Formative. Performing tasks requires some dexterity. Consequently, excellent word, the importance of children's engagement, the importance of engaging children in challenging physical movements. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of a really cool way to say that. I would say the importance of challenging children physically as well as mentally should not be underestimated. Let's be precise. The importance of challenging children physically as well as mentally should not be underestimated. In conclusion, humans' mental, social, and physical capabilities require an intricate and correlated set of abilities. Again, even though it's capabilities and abilities, it's kind of repetitive. So in conclusion, humans' mental, social, and physical abilities require or have specific training needs. Humans' mental, social, and physical abilities have intricate and complex training needs, or intricate and distinct training needs. What we want to get across is that for different things, we need to do different things. So yeah, training needs. A need arises from a shortcoming. So if someone can't do something that they need to be able to do, that is a training need. We must address their training needs. And then that's good. You've gone on to re-stress your opinion. So let's address the question. Can you develop better skills and imagination? So I don't think we didn't manage to mention imagination. I would have talked about the creative ability inspired by things other than reading. Or, I mean, personally, I believe that nothing develops imagination better than reading. Identifying with other people, with other characters, with other personalities, allows people to think about others and the experience of others, and that's what develops a good imagination. So reading actually develops imagination better than anything else. But we didn't cover that subject, and in IELTS you really must cover every single part of the question in order to score well. So let's make sure that we respond to all of it. But other than that, actually, your response is grammatically good. It's structured well. It answered the vast majority of the question. We just need to smooth it out with some more precise language and less repetition, some variety. So I think your biggest gain here is in the lexical resource category. You have an impressive style of writing, but the content of it must be brought on slightly. So pay attention to the suggestions I've made, and let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so we have a bit of a gap on this one, but I'm very familiar with this question, so it shouldn't take us very long. So, family members. What are their relationships like these days? What are the consequences of the modern age on familial relationships? How are people doing? So the frequency or even quality of personal interactions among family members has declined. I would just say the frequency and quality, and I wouldn't finish with this. This is a prepositional statement. You're saying that essentially the first part of the statement depends on this. So I would say some may argue that the frequency and quality of personal interactions amongst family members has declined. That's good. I like that. Nevertheless, advancements in technology, you don't need to use technologies for that. We can just use the abstract noun technology, such as the internet and electronic devices, have enhanced enormously the access, quality and costs of these interactions. I would say access to, quality and cost. So you don't need the plural. Access to, quality and cost of those interactions. Let's move down a bit. On the one hand, the modern digital age has positively and profoundly impacted the way family interactions are conducted. So we don't need nowadays, because you've already referred to the time period at the beginning of the sentence. We don't need to do so again here. Permanent and economical access to the internet, inexpensive mobile devices, and the interactive nature of screen media, no comma, have all contributed to enhancing human conversation. Applications such as Skype, WhatsApp, and Messenger, I would say, instant messengers, because this is an unclear branding, and other instant messengers have significantly reduced communication costs, providing access to multiple services on almost any electronic gadget would be better. Providing access to multiple services on almost any electronic gadget. As a result, more families can now use these technologies to strengthen bonds with relatives at lower costs and with relative ease. So yeah, I would say let's just leave this out. Actually, we've mentioned families enough, so let's just say more families can now use these technologies to strengthen bonds at lower costs and with relative ease than ever before. Because I agree with you there, people just aren't using it properly. We need a bit of an education. So on the other hand, contemporary screen media facilitates connecting family members separated by time or distance. Great, facilitates, what a good word. This development can be explained by the ubiquitous presence of both the internet and digital devices, enabling anytime, anywhere interactions among their users. So again, make sure you expand these fully. In academic essays, we must never shorten anything. So using this slash just to say anytime, anywhere is not appropriate. Enabling users to interact anytime and anywhere. We need to know the difference of when it's appropriate to expand and when it's appropriate to truncate, make short or make big. In writing, it's almost always proper to make small, so use as few words as possible, because that usually means you're being more precise. But we should avoid shortcuts. Make sure the full syntax and the full context is conveyed. For instance, flight tracking websites and mobile applications that integrate text, photos, voice and video are some of the tools that families of the 21st century are using to... so the fact that you put it in inverted commas means that what you're saying is it's a rough term, to remain together. But we need to be precise. To strengthen bonds you've already used, so we could use something else. To create lasting relationships, maybe. Or to foster stronger bonds. To foster. Consequently, familial communications have been greatly enriched, permitting relatives to reconnect in ways unimaginable only a few decades ago. Still need to use the article here, a few decades ago. unimaginable only a few decades ago. To conclude, I firmly believe that communication in our modern society, communication between families, let's say, or amongst families, between families, between family members. I firmly believe that communication between family members in our modern society has not only changed in a dramatic fashion, or dramatically changed, but it has also broadened the spectrum of possible means, times, and ways to express our opinions and emotions in a more efficient, cost-effective, and enjoyable manner. So I find your work easy to read, as you can probably tell, because I read it quite quickly. That's because your grammar is smooth. I can read through your work without stopping very much at all, which means you're already scoring quite well in grammar. Smoothness really is a winner. But what you need to do is make sure that you're expanding the points that should be expanding, and not using additional words, and not repeating yourself. Maybe try to use some more complex prepositions as well, like through, to explain the relationship between something, through the period, throughout the period, through hard times. We can go through time, or we can go through an event when we're referring to its time and its duration. To get through a difficult period is to endure, So to go through something is a good preposition to use. But I'm looking forward to your next tasks. We don't really need to do any other corrections other than bringing in some more precise academic language, reducing ambiguity, and maybe bringing in some more... maybe next time we'll work on some more complex grammar. But until then, Cesar, have a lovely day, and thanks for sending these in. Speak soon.